Police and community members came together in Rutland today to honor the fallen trainee officer Jessica Ebbinghausen with a special ceremony. Jessica died last July after someone crashed into her cruiser. NBC5's Amanda Martin-Ryan joins us now live from Justin Thomas Memorial Park. Amanda, what was today's ceremony all about?
Well, Jack, this park serves as a space for the Rutland community to find joy in grief, and that's why this corner of the park was dedicated to Officer Ebbinghausen during National Police Week. There was a lot of community involvement that went into creating this section of the park, including input from neighbors on the best way they wanted to honor Officer Ebbinghausen. Police officers unveiled a piece of playground equipment that's been transformed into a Rutland City Police cruiser. In the park's corner, now known as Jessica's Corner, plaques sit below a freshly planted garden, a tribute to the work of law enforcement. And in front of the garden, a bench showing Jessica and her dogs. Rutland's police chief says it's a moving effort from the community.
Incredible feeling, just knowing the community stands behind us, continues to stand behind the department, behind the Ebbinghausen family, because it is absolutely necessary. We couldn't, we really couldn't sustain what we need to sustain here in the city to protect, serve and protect the community.
Among those here for this morning's dedication, Officer Ebbinghausen's family, Rutland Mayor Mike Dunges, and the father of Justin Thomas, an infant who the park was dedicated to after his untimely death more than 20 years ago. Ebbinghausen was also honored earlier this week in Washington, D.C. And later today, there's going to be a memorial service for Jessica. It's happening at 4 o'clock outside of City Hall. I'll have more on that starting at 4:30. Now live in Rutland, Amanda Martin-Ryan, NBC5 News.
Amanda, thank you. Court is out of session today in the criminal trial against former President Trump. But next week, the prosecution's star witness, Trump's former lawyer, is scheduled to return to the stand for further questioning after Trump's defense questioned his credibility. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Hi there. The jury will have plenty of time to let yesterday's sometimes fiery testimony sink in before Michael Cohen takes the stand again on Monday. His credibility key as we near the end of this historic trial. That was a lie. Defense attorney Todd Blanche practically shouting those words at Michael Cohen in a dramatic moment on the stand as the defense assailed the credibility of former President Trump's one-time fixer and lawyer, the prosecution's star witness. Blanche accusing Cohen of lying about a key part of his testimony, an October 2016 phone call when Cohen says he told Mr. Trump the deal to pay off porn star Stormy Daniels to silence her allegations of an affair would be done. The defense showing the jury never before seen text messages suggesting the call may have been for another purpose entirely. Cohen responding that in that same call, quote, "I believe I also spoke to Mr. Trump about the Stormy Daniels matter." Blanche shooting back, "We are not asking what you believe. This jury doesn't want to hear what you think happened."
I think it was a very interesting day. It was a fascinating day. And it shows what a scam this whole thing is.
The Trump attorney also grilling Cohen over his criminal record, his past admissions of lying under oath, and his bias against the former president, playing podcast clips voicing Cohen's desire to see Trump go to prison.
And you better believe I want this man to go down and rot inside for what he did to me and my family.
Prosecutors get a chance to reframe the narrative and redirect next week and argue that just because someone's angry,
that does not mean they're lying. And look at all the corroboration and circumstantial evidence of guilt that we have.
The jury has seen documents and heard other witnesses backing up Cohen's account. Other evidence aside, Cohen is the only witness who can speak to certain conversations surrounding former President Trump's alleged advanced knowledge of the plans to pay off Stormy Daniels and then sign off on a scheme to pay Michael Cohen back, and prosecutors allege falsify business records to cover it up. These are all allegations the former president denies. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.
Still ahead here at noon, powerful storms in the south claiming lives. Why those storms aren't the only danger Southerners are up against. Stay with us on NBC5. CVOEO and other housing organizations are hosting their annual In Your Shoes fundraiser. That event works to raise awareness about the challenges people face without a roof over their heads. NBC5's Anna Guber sat down with one of the event's speakers who has experienced that firsthand.
Annabelle Lee was enjoying the life she always wanted until one day it took an unexpected turn. She says she spent the better part of 7 years unhoused until one organization finally lent her a helping hand and a place she could sleep with a roof over her head. She'll be speaking along with other unhoused members of the Franklin and Grand Isle communities at the In Their Shoes fundraiser on Saturday. Anyone is welcome to come out and hear their stories and experience a guided walking tour led by members of CVOEO. The organization says 462 people experienced homelessness in Franklin and Grand Isle counties last year, which is only a fraction of the number across our region. Now, Annabelle hopes sharing her story will inspire more people to support organizations like Tim's House, Lori's House, and CVOEO, and more people to ask for help if they need it.
It was so traumatizing trying to get help, and I found out that it wasn't just me. I always thought maybe I was doing something wrong. I want to make sure it doesn't happen to somebody else.
The event starts at 1 tomorrow afternoon in St. Albans Taylor Park. And if you can't attend in person, you can still make a difference. Organizers say anyone can start their own fundraiser, but you can also donate to one by following the link you see on your screen. In the studio, Anna Guber, NBC5 News.
Right on the eve of graduation, the University of Vermont staff are taking to the green to demand fair contracts amid ongoing negotiations. Unions representing more than 2,000 staff members say their contracts are set to expire next month. Members of the faculty union and the UVM Staff United are demanding wage increases, saying living in the greater Burlington area is just too expensive with their current pay levels. That rally is happening today, starting any minute now. Well, a nice surprise at Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center for one nursing student who's graduating from Vermont State University. Jeanette Agomo moved to the United States from Kenya and will be fulfilling her lifelong dream of becoming a nurse this week. She was surprised by her colleagues, mentors, and her family members Thursday when she showed up to what she thought was just a normal meeting. This week, Vermont Route 108 opened for the season. While the Notch Road is picturesque, it's also an infamous spot where commercial tractor trailers seem to get stuck pretty often. Yesterday, it happened again. The Vermont Agency of Transportation recently installed things known as chicanes, which are meant to show drivers how tight the turns in the notch are to prevent big trucks from making an attempt to get through the notch. However, VTrans says on Thursday, one truck driver skipped the chicanes using the left-hand lane to avoid them and tried making the trip up the notch. Locals say they can't believe this is still an issue.
When does it end? You know, because you hear about it all the time. I just don't know how much clearer it could be. And, you know, constant resources are being diverted up there to kind of, you know, stop this or fix the problem once it's happened. So it's kind of like, you know, I don't really know what else they can do.
VTrans says after this latest incident, it will look into options to address the use of that left-hand lane of the chicane. As multiple rounds of powerful storms stretch across the south, officials say at least 4 people are dead. Life-threatening floods and strong winds are blowing debris and shattering windows. But those states are not in the clear yet, Amy Kiley reports.
Oh my God.
Today, life-threatening floods are clobbering southern states for the second day in a row. The Weather Prediction Center says a rare level of rain is behind these scenes from Texas yesterday. Today, that state, Louisiana, and Mississippi are drenched as the system also stretches to states farther east. And flash flooding isn't the only danger from these rounds of storms.
Evidently a guy had something fall into his car outside, and he came running in, had a gash on his arm about 8 inches, and we had to put a tourniquet on it.
Officials say multiple people are dead from severe weather in Houston. This building there is partially collapsed, and some skyscrapers have shattered windows.
We're in the restroom, and we hear everybody screaming and coming toward the restroom, and there's like dust blowing down from the ceiling tiles.
Utilities report nearly 1 million homes and businesses were without power in Texas yesterday. Some say they were dangerously close when huge transmission towers came down.
Lights were flickering on and off. We did start hearing a lot of wind, and doors just started to fly off.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Now, NBC5 First Warning Weather, the area's certified most accurate forecast.
Boy, Matt, you see that video and you have to think how fortunate we are here.
We really are. I know we had a rough year last year of weather, but we're getting a nice break. We don't have any big storms in the forecast. The weather's just so beautiful out there today.
Hope it stays that way.
It sure will. And remember, 1 year ago today, we had that big May freeze where it was in the 20s in the morning. They had all that damage. So nothing like that this year. It's fantastic out there. So let's show you what's going on outside. We have a big area, high pressure across the northeastern part of the country right now. You see all that sun from Boston up toward Bangor, Maine, Burlington, up to Montreal. It's just looking fantastic right now. Notice how we've got mostly sunny skies, but there's this band of clouds that's sort of developing, these bubbly clouds going up as the surface heats up from Plymouth, New Hampshire down to Brattleboro. These clouds will continue to track north and west throughout the afternoon, and one or two of those clouds could bring an isolated shower or a quick downpour, but most of the afternoon is looking dry. Now you might notice a little haziness to the sky. Yes, that is a little bit of wildfire smoke in the atmosphere, and it will carry through Saturday. Notice we still have that gray shading. Good news about this is that it's quite a few thousand feet up in the air, so not impacting the air quality at the ground. At least for now, it's something we'll be watching, of course, in the coming weeks, but we'll enjoy the sunshine out there. Rest of today is fine. Notice 3, 4, 5 o'clock. There can be a couple of isolated showers or downpours, particularly over the higher terrain, but wouldn't surprise me to see a few of those make their way into the Champlain Valley as